Well, everything's been pretty miserable for December for travellers so far, and it looks like potentially it could get worse.
It's a really difficult time, and particularly when we're approaching the Christmas period where people are really looking forward to the first year for 3 years now, without any coronavirus restrictions, wanting to be where they need to be to visit friends and family. So there is an added emotional feeling that comes with Christmas, which really doesn't help the whole situation either.
And so what advice do you have for anyone who has booked a getaway over Christmas, as I'm sure many people have, because this is really the first Christmas we can get away without any restrictions?
It is indeed. We're expecting nearly 2 million people to fly through UK airports this weekend, over the next weekend. And most of those, it is worth saying, will be getting to where they need to be at the right time, at the right place. Unfortunately, as you said in your intro, there's 6 airports and New Haven. We have Border Force officials that will be on strike. Every one of those airports have put robust contingency measures in. They are, making it very clear that they will be doing all they can to ensure that passengers arriving back into the UK can get through border control. And it really is worth remembering this affects passengers returning back into the UK, not when you leave. There may be some indirect impacts for some passengers, but this is really about when we arrive back into the UK and we show our passports. If you can't use the e-gates, there will be less officials there that can manually look at your passports. And
what about if you miss a connection or a flight because of these strikes? What rules and what does your insurance cover? I mean, what do the airlines have to pay for? Are you able to get your money back? What's the advice?
It's a really difficult situation. Heathrow, for example, you've got a lot of interconnecting flights there, given it is a hub airport. The problem you have regarding not just compensation is most people at this time of year just want to be, at the right place on the 25th of December. Flights are very busy and very full. So the ability to then get onto an alternative flight will be very difficult. The airlines are being very helpful and being as accommodating as they can to get passengers on alternative flights, which they are entitled to do. However, it's the availability on those flights, which unfortunately will prove a challenge.
And talk to me about what might happen next year, if you can use your crystal ball, as it were. What can holidaymakers expect next year? Or is the cost of living crisis going to have an effect? Are people booking things right now? Do people want to get away?
I think the really interesting fact is, even with the cost of living crisis as we've seen it, we are not seeing the correlation between passengers' desire to want to travel subdued in any way at all. So really, over the last 6 months, come out of the summer, we've seen the demand really strong. Our travel agent partners across the UK are greeting customers all the time who are desperate to get away, booking a year, 2 years in advance. So the appetite is there. The cost of living crisis is not having an impact. And I think that's why this time of year, it means so much more to people as well, because everyone is less richer in their pockets. So the ability to be able to get away is so important. Being able to get away from a bit of doom and gloom, bad weather, and enjoy time with family overseas.
Where are people travelling to? Where's a top spot for Christmas? I mean, is it a lot of families going to Lapland and that sort of thing?
They are. What you tend to find is most people tend to go to Lapland just before Christmas. Actually, I wasn't in Lapland, but I was in Rome. I got back late last night, and that was lovely, being in the Christmas markets, Christmas spirit. But actually, over the Christmas period, Canary Islands are very popular. Our top-selling destinations are Tenerife, Lanzarote, Gran Canaria, mainland Spain, Alicante, but also long haul. A lot of people have flown out to New York, Dubai, Mexico, Caribbean, all fantastic destinations this time of year.
Well, great to talk to you, Julia. Always great to catch up with you. Thanks for joining us here on LBC News. Julia Bue-Said, the CEO of the Advantage Travel Partnership, a network of more than 700 UK travel agents.
Where the news never stops.